join us. Okay, and the recording is live. So thank you for your patience. As always, we are on time, IST, Indian Standard
Yeah.
Time. We made it. So, Divya, today we have over 1,878 attendees registered for this session and are live
Wow.
with us both on Zoom and Facebook.
That's
Thank you
great.
all for your interest. And by the way, we are also live on Facebook, and one can go on School News Facebook page and watch this session live. So a lot of you who are registered and were lucky to get into Zoom, because we have a limitation of 500 audience here, and
Hmm.
you are one of the 500 luckiest ones. So you could actually go and take a moment to share it on your Facebook Live as well, so that all of others and your peers could also watch this session. So I'll share a few hygiene points for our attendees. So if you are facing any bandwidth issues, we suggest that you turn off the video so that you can listen to the audio with a better clarity. Recorded version of this webinar will be available on our Facebook page, that is @School News. And we shall also send you an email with the YouTube link post this webinar. There is a Q&A button which should be used for relevant questions that you need to ask Divya. Please do not put questions in the chat box. You could introduce yourself, or you could, just praise the beauty of Divya, or you could just tell me that I'm looking ugly with this beard. But yeah, you could just use the chat box for chatting between, you all. And the Q&A button should only be used for
Yeah.
raising the questions. And you can follow Divya Lal and me on our Facebook, Insta, and Twitter account and interact with us there if you have any questions post this webinar. For those of you just joining, welcome and enjoy the webinar. Thank you, Divya, for being here. And
Always a pleasure, Ravi.
thank you, Divya. You have been ardent supporter of us. Right from the first day. When we started this media house, and till today. When possibly we have made some mark. So. First off, let me thank you, Divya, for agreeing to this, to be on this show. I've literally had to chase you for weeks to say yes. That was a hard thing to do. But yeah.
I'm really sorry on that. And Ravi, with all this new situation coming in, we've been so backed up with about 14 to 15 hours in front of our screens, helping schools really go online and, start the thing systematically rather than just randomized efforts. So I'm really sorry. I've
Not,
never kept
not at
school
all.
waiting or anything. And so
Not a
happy to
problem.
be here. And before I think we get into a session, Ravi, I wanted to acknowledge what fantastic work school is doing, not only generally from a media house, but I loved the initiative on the shields and everything. And I thought that was so well thought and so timely. And I
Thank
think
you.
kudos to you and the entire team. I think it's fabulous, what you guys
Thank you
are
very much.
doing here.
I wish I could ask you just like the Uber driver, please rating achhi dena, man. So on that note, let us start, and let's not
Sure.
keep all of us waiting here. Uh, so let me introduce, a lot of people here, know you already, Divya. You have been the icon in education since last 20 years. But for a few, who may not know you, let me share something about you and the background. So Divya Lal, also known as the EdTech icon of the education ecosystem, she carries over 2 decades of experience in bringing technology to Indian schools. Passionate about providing access of quality education to all, she strives towards creating innovative solutions which drastically improve the teaching and learning outcomes. She started her career as a faculty at NIT 20 years back, and from there, she worked at Educom for 10 years before moving to Smart Class Solutions, to EBIC Smart Class, and now heading Fliplearn. So you all could kind of, possibly relate to Divya. She is the mother of Smart Class in India. She has been, millions of smart classes in each and every school in different towns, in even tehsils and districts and talukas, and the governments and the metros and everywhere. So I think Divya is the name which everyone relates to. And I completely, resonate with the kind of thoughts that Divya keep on sharing on different platforms. She feels strongly about bridging the digital divide that currently exists in the Indian education system, and she's happy to work towards creating 21st century future-ready education solutions. So, with that, a very, very warm welcome to you, Divya.
Thank
This is
you.
really amazing. Speaking to the edtech icon of India. I know you are, which you will very humbly, push me off with the scene. The format is such that I'd like to ask you a few direct questions today. Are you ready
Please
with the
go ahead.
questions here? And I'm sure, if you find any question a little here and there, you could figure it apart. You are not.
No, Ravi, actually, I'm happy because unlike I think some of the things I've done on webinars these days, I'm kind of looking forward to a conversation actually. So
Wonderful.
fire away.
How is this lockdown treating Divya Lal?
I'm glowing, so you can see. So I think, Ravi, I'm used to like traveling as you travel about 3 to 4 days a week. So I think home food and such amazing weather conditions. So I think been very privileged to have a very happy. I think my family hasn't seen me ever straight for 35 days. I don't. I think there've been like discussions back home, like when was the last time you were home for 35 days in a go? So I think it's good from that point of view. I also got lucky, my mother just got operated just before the lockdown started. So I think we've been able to see her through a very smooth recovery, and everybody's been
Incredible.
home. And, so there are all kinds of sides. I think also from, professionally speaking, I think it's amazing because been so actively working with Fliplearn now in a very, very active role last 6 months, and to see how the whole country has just leapfrogged into edtech,
Mhm.
okay, on an overnight phenomena that happened in the country within 7 to 10 days. School started doing something or the other is very heartening. Okay, it's like nobody is saying we'll see what happens, let the schools open. People just jumped into it, and I think that's a big salute to all our educators, our school leaders, our owners of the schools, and who've really like taken it up. I've never let the learning not stop. Okay, and they're finding solutions, they're doing things to bring it to their schools.
I completely agree there with you. So, you know what? A couple of weeks back, I mean, when we were, midway through this lockdown, I wrote something on my social media, which basically says that what demonetization did to fintech is exactly what COVID-19 is doing to edtech.
Right.
Do you agree to this statement? And if yes, can you share any change that you may have noticed in last a month or so, which is not there previously in the edtech ecosystem? I mean,
True. See, till now, I'll tell you the edtech revolution has been, at least when it comes to schools as ecosystems, has been pretty much offline. I think what happened in the last 30 days was that what people took it as an option. Okay, like schools don't need to go online, people can go online and buy online learning solutions. That was always about, support happening on school, at home time, after school. And suddenly, what has flipped in the last 30 days is now schools understand that they have to be online, because irrespective of, whenever the lockdown opens, when we can run normally all schools functionally, happily, we now need proper systems to actually, run through that experience. And I think that is what has been the 180 degrees change, that now schools believe that yes, school learning itself has to move online, and they're looking at proper systems that are comprehensive by nature to, really evolve into.
yeah, I mean, what a lot of school owners, I mean, I keep speaking to a
Hmm.
lot of school owners, and a collective feedback of this pandemic is such that, I mean, the only thank, I mean, that we are going to, I mean, this pandemic is that it taught, pretty much 90% of our teacher force to use technology. Everyone is
Yes,
online
yes,
on
yeah.
Microsoft Teams and WebEx and Zoom, and,
Hmm.
I mean, so it's pretty easy. I mean, of course, there
Yeah.
have been some problems here and there, but Zoom and all these
Hmm.
platforms are working 24/7, and they have kind of
True.
very quickly come up with the solutions. And I think, I mean, that's something, the only thing that we can happy be about this particular pandemic. So the current situation of lockdown, I mean, we have seen a major shift of Indian schools from brick and mortar to online mediums. What is Fliplearn's approach and contribution towards the same? I mean, if you could, I mean, I'm sure you are a very, very busy person with the calls and the emails coming in. Why Fliplearn, and why only Fliplearn, that when people are going chasing you for this particular stuff? What's so important about Fliplearn?
I think more than just providing, see, one is about a one-way communication of sending information to students. Okay, give them learning links, give them learning videos, give them some assignments to do. I think FlipLearn brings you a comprehensive system, and that is why it is being, chased out about mostly, because this is the only system that's enabling not only learning, assessment of a child, but also the correction and feedback that a teacher can give to every child sitting from home. And the system does 99% of the work. So there's a lot of AI that has worked through, so that the teacher's work is also, for the first time in India, I can tell you, there is a system that can bring down a teacher's workload like never before. And it is not limited to a pandemic. You can use it throughout your this thing. And a single collated place where, as a school head, you want to know what's happening. You can't call 50 teachers and ask, aapne kya upload kara WhatsApp pe? What did you upload on the website? What online sessions did you do? What happened in those sessions? How do a parent know like really what happened and how many? So we're giving a comprehensive but yet personalized learning system and teaching system. So I'm giving possibilities of a teacher to say that they can control a teaching experience like they would do in a class. Like if they tell that, Ravi, before speaking the next question, you have to see this video. Think she can put that control that your auditory cannot be enabled till then. So that is the level of personalization that the system brings in.
Okay, tell me very frankly. I mean, is it because of the credibility and the name that you have in the market? I mean, is because you're getting so many inquiries, or is it all about the platform and the quality of the work that you do?
I think both
Where is
helps.
your strength
Both helps, Ravi. We have to put Fliplearn. Fliplearn was not very known, and in the last 3-4 years that the team has worked through with it, I've joined in more actively in the last 6 months. But we've been focused on doing many things. We've stumbled here and there, and got into many things. So we have not really put the name out there that much. So at this point of time, it goes hand in hand. You know to be able to draw people. But I think as more and more people are using it and understanding that word of mouth reference is going around, and that is helping us move around,
Yeah, I've
and the
been
product is
noticing a lot
speaking.
of Fliplearn logos on many school social media.
So
So,
we are happy on
is,
that. Yeah.
uh, is is Fliplearn all about CBSE or any specific board, or does it cover
At
all the board and
every board,
classes?
every board. I think we mapped to various boards in the country, whether it's CBSC, ICSC, state boards, whether it is Samachir, Karnataka board, Maharashtra, Gujarat. We do majority of the boards. We also today have schools that follow Cambridge and IB curriculum that are using it, because the system is not limiting. Again, like I said, you don't like the content, and I'm not a content player in this. There's some aggregated content that we've put through. The idea is you can upload your own stuff. You don't like my stuff, you can just hide it completely. It won't be visible. So it allows the teachers to do a lot of things like they would do in a class. And today I have schools from CBSC, ICSC, Cambridge, IB, state boards, everybody joining in, because it gives you that flexibility to play with.
And how long did it take you to create this kind of a curriculum and content on this platform?
It's been underway for 2.5, 3 years, Ravi, to put something together this comprehensive. I think for us, in a lot of ways, the timing went right. I mean, it was just coming out, and things also happened in a way while it started working on enabling schools to come into a systematic thing. So I think it's been a very comprehensive effort. Nothing like this in EdTech, you understand, happens overnight. You know.
And I'm sure it must be,
Yeah.
it must require a daily upgradation. I mean, a lot of new things coming in, and are you upgrading the platform on daily basis?
Yeah, totally. Like, every day with some schools, with our own Zoom account, we run about demos starting 10 o'clock every day. And every hour we do about like 8 hours of demos nonstop, 1 hour, where multiple schools join. It's like webinar after webinar happening. And on a parallel account, we have trainings and out clarification happening. So, we get concerns from teachers, I didn't get this, or I'm not able to do this. Can you add this feature? And so there is a constant upgradation with the tech teams. And that was also one of the reasons I couldn't join you, because we were so backed up with all this demand and usage, and then, the kind of patterns that come in. So like people told us, put conferencing, integrated a couple of conferencing things. They are launching out. Then they said, no, in the conferencing, I want attendance also to come in. How should I send it? So there are like
You
a
just,
lot of things that
you
keep
just
coming.
contradicted the statement, I mean, previously that you gave, that you are spending good quality time with your family and not just 8 to 10 hours of demo every
For
day.
my family, I'm inside the same premise. It in
Yeah,
itself is a good time.
yeah.
You know that itself.
Great.
Otherwise, my mom won't see me like 4 days in a row every week. So for her, it's like it's amazing. I'm around morning, evening, hopping in, hopping out. So
So I think a major problem that a lot of edtech solutions that the schools are facing is that the solution providers. I mean, they go and they sell, and the school buys it. But what goes after that, when school wants to inculcate that particular thing in their teachers? Do you face a lot of problem? Because I mean, I think this is the major problem in edtech in India, that buying and purchasing and selling is not a problem, but when implementing that particular thing in the school is, how do you manage that particular problem?
So I think what has worked well for us, Ravi, is that we've broken down our training into like some 7, 8 trainings. Actually, I tell schools as many as needed. Okay. And our idea is we teach simple things to teachers. We don't want to overwhelm them. Kids are digital natives. They explore the app very fast. They're able to go through many such things. But I think the big piece is essentially on hand holding a teacher through this entire thing. So, when day one we start with the school and we get the data to create in, within the 3 days the first training gets launched out. Okay. And the idea is to take them through something, and we do a Zoom session like this only. And then every 3 to 4 days there is a doubt clarification session, because the question is not of the training, Ravi. You will again understand training is a lot one way many a times. People are absorbing. Then we give them videos for every step, so that at home if they get stuck they can refer to it. I have a call center they can call and take support. Okay. I have a manual I've given them. But the issue happens when they take an online class, or when they try to create a homework that they wanted to send and didn't go. That is when they wanted out clarification to happen. That is what we do every 2, 3 days. And we are live with schools on our WhatsApp groups. So we work intensively with IT heads, school teachers, HMs, all teachers maybe in one of the groups, etc. And they keep posting in this login ID, I got an issue. Maybe I logged myself out. So I have my tech teams that are embedded in. Even at night at 11 o'clock, people just solve it and say, go ahead, do it.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure you were planning for a 7-day vacation right out of the lockdown.
I hope so. I'm waiting for it to open to take a break now.
Okay, so there is this user in on Facebook, Stavya Jain,
Okay.
asking Fliplearn, do you also provide video conferencing?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And it will be available to all our science schools like within a week. It's today is the final testing, but we just want to test it for a couple of days more before it's made live.
Perfect. So Stavya, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if Stavya is he or she, but yeah, I mean, you got the answer. Perfect.
So, okay, I mean, we're looking at answers. What is the mindset of the students, especially when compared with the traditional? Can I just take this, Ravi, if you don't mind? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I think Sunirji is asking this from Medicaps University. What you'll understand is, Sunirji, students are actually digital natives. So there is no problem when it comes to from a student point of view. I think the two people that are critical in this case, one is a teacher and the other is the parents. And that is why with our app, what we always do is provide extra devices. Like a Netflix connection works on 3 devices or 5 devices. We also encourage the same thing, and we encourage parents to log in parallelly. Okay. To view in what the child is doing, and whatever the school is sending, they can also click on a tab and actually view it. So that makes them partners. And we haven't had that kind of a concern from a student community. They're kind of enjoying it. They don't look forward so much to an online session that much, because the kids keep getting tuned out, but they want a space to personalize their learning. And that is why a system works well with most of the kids. Ravi, over to you. I'll take another question.
I just want to ask you, a much asked question. I mean, whenever I go to US or UK or Malaysia or London in different conferences, I mean, there is one panel which is on, I mean, can technology replace the normal classrooms? I mean, I think, this is really important timing for all of us to kind of go back and think, because at that point in time when the physical schools were still in place, Divya, that question seemed to be a little irrelevant. But now, I mean, we are looking at some things. I mean, wherein 100% teaching is online. So, what do you say? Is technology really going to replace the teachers, or do you have any other thoughts to it?
No, I don't think so. We're also playing on that. My idea is teacher is very pivotal to the whole experience. You customize, you can get information, Ravi. You don't need a book. Everything is on the Google. You can Google any concept and study it if that is the case,
True.
right? But the idea is the teacher brings the construct together, the whole contours of how much, when, what should my child study. Maybe I'll give him something very customized from our own surroundings, etc. So that is important.
Mm-hmm.
And the second piece that is very, very critical in the story is essentially, how you position the teacher. So my whole suggestion in this online piece is don't run cinema halls, don't run one hour sessions of interactions of teachers. You want to bring in the teacher, bring her for a short time and bring her more for the human connect. Let her talk to the kids at that time, not teach. Okay. You can send all learning material, assessment material via the system and, look at what children are performing and track their performance and do all of that parallelly offline. Okay. As in not in an online session, etc. In the session, spend time maybe on doubt clarification. That is where the expertise of the teacher comes in. She can clarify to a child's level as per her class's satisfaction. And I think that is the power that an educator brings. And that is something that we can work at. So I think that balance is critical. You need to, put the teacher in the position of being an expert to answer and clarify. This is a trend she sees. So she knows I asked 5 questions. Question number 2 had majority of the kids going wrong. This is a part I need to focus on. So rather than teaching everything, you may want to spend time in knowing your children, how they're doing during this time, and spend time on that clarification. So I think when it comes to technology, I don't know why, Ravi, but always it is like teacher versus technology. My purview is always a teacher with technology. I've always said technology is not just, digital by nature, if I may say. The pen you use is also a technology. There is a certain tech that is worked in this. A safety pin for my sari is also a technology, right? So when it comes to edtech, we should not make it a versus kind of a phenomena, right? The idea is it's hand in hand. Why do you want a teacher to correct so many basic question papers of formative assessment every Monday when a system can do it? Why do you want a teacher to, kind of recreate those notes and send it when I can give you a topic synopsis for every concept, right? So the idea is, handhold, become the partner that a teacher would want and become a partner for a child. I, as a child, study at 11 o'clock only. और मुझे को तो रात को 11 बजे पढ़ना है. So if I want to study, I want the resource at that time. So enabling anytime, anywhere learning and personalized as per my level. I'm failing in a class. Maybe I need to do basics. So I need to go maybe a step below. And I just picked a question from Sri Ramji. And he said that, what's your USP like? There are many. For example, Ravi, when we give a subscription to a child who's in, let's say, class 7th, we give one class below and one class above free. The idea is simple. You can go a level below or a level up. Nobody does that in the industry. That's like 3 grade subscription in one. Okay. The second thing very clearly, like I said, is the teacher platform that we have created. It is unprecedented. There is no such platform that exists today that enables a teacher to upload her material, hide our material, sequence our material, okay, create tests, get them automated, corrected, get a report card ready, okay, and she can regrade it if she believes that the system has not given the right marks to a subjective question. Forget about objective. She can open it and regrade it also. So the idea is we are helping teachers right now in a way, once you use the platform, to do everything they would have wanted to do, which is manually not possible in a class of 50, but online, a lot of things are possible. Yeah.
Are we comfortable saying that, what 2K2, where the Indian government, they brought everything online and all the bhai khatas and registers and all those paper things, got shifted to the drives on the computers. Because that was not required, and when it was coming, people were a little worried that this might take our jobs. But we've been seeing a good surge in the employment in India, and now people are taking courses in online and ICT and all. And the entire government has shifted to online, wherein everything, we don't need these, papers and everything, because you have, everything online. So do you think that, you are comparing that particular thing wherein removing the unnecessary workload from the teacher and asking the teacher to focus more on, helping the students learn better and not just doing the admin work and probably,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because my point is, we can definitely take away some of that pain. Some of that stuff can just happen. I understand you want to do basic semester papers and go through that. But now majority of the schools are running, Monday assessments and weekly assessments and formative assessments and this thing. So how do you help all of that, etc.? Plus the tools that I built in were so focused that even if you're doing English LSRW, you could do auditory questions. You could listen to the diction of the children while you're at, there. You can do many such things that the system enables you. And I just saw a question for somebody saying from a rural background, or, every parent does not have a smartphone. That's a good question, actually. How do you reach out? For that purpose, Ravi, we have ensured that we don't push parents to invest into a smartphone or a device. We are browser based also. If you have desktop with internet connection, you can use Fliplearn. You don't need to invest into a tablet or give your own phone to the child. And our idea has been children should learn. So we are platform agnostic completely. You want to work with desktop, laptops, phones, tablets, anything and everything will work. Whether it is Android, Apple, web, all platforms will work. And from a, another question that I saw, how will it work in rural areas and everything, connectivity? Well, if your parents use WhatsApp, they can use Fliplearn. That's the only amount of bandwidth it will need. So
That's
if
a
you're
clever.
reaching out, yeah. So if you can do a WhatsApp, you can definitely do this thing, etc. There's no problem at all.
Divya, there is a new model which is being discussed in the world. That see, I've been speaking to hundreds of school owners, since past couple of weeks, or or so. I've been speaking to a lot of policymakers. I've been speaking to a lot of district collectors and all. So one thing is pretty sure, that schools will be the last institutions to open after the lockdown,
Absolutely.
because the collectors are saying that, man, I will not let the school
Yeah.
open, because that's where the future of India is going to be in millions of numbers. So when we're talking about the normal schools opening by September, maybe, and boarding schools opening in December, there is a new model which has been discussed, that even after when the school open, when they will be trying half a week of physical classrooms,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
other half, the online, through whatever platforms these respective schools are going to use. So how are you going to, of course, the sports is one, thing which has gone for a huge toss. I'm not sure, whether we
True.
should be touching the
True.
topic on this, because this is more about technology. But how do you see the schools operating, half at home and half at school, and how is the entire scenario going to look like?
Yeah, Ravi. I mean, even I'm in touch with a lot of owners, and the larger piece of talk is, you know, it's not like online till the schools open. Online is going to be around now very much comprehensively, because even when schools open, we with packed 40, 50 kids in a class cannot work a complete school any day. Okay. So schools will have to get into a staggered fashion. Maybe half of the school operates Monday, Wednesday, Friday, other half operates Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That means half of the school every day will be online.
Hmm.
Okay, and learning it online, etc. And schools are basically working out that when it happens in such a situation, and the timelines that you're saying are very true, and that will also happen, Ravi, only for middle or only senior school. There's a very good likelihood the primary kids will not start off even then, because they have to be very, very sure in terms of, because with very young kids you cannot control them, hugging, touching, and from that point of view you can initiate that only with kids of a certain age group and all. So then the idea is technology is going to be with you, and one of the things that I'm working very hard with the school owners is from a revenue point also. you know there is, people just believe that schools should be a one-way transmission of give, give, give. Teach the kids, pay the teachers, do everything, don't ask, don't take. I think that is unfair to a lot of it, to a large extent, etc. And I think one of the parts of the Fliplearn program is to also help schools. How do they keep the revenues intact over the period of the year, and how do we help every school make up that plan? That is also an inbuilt discussion as a part of the thing that
Yeah,
we
I was
work
actually coming to that,
with.
very discussed kind of a question, that,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the school fee fiasco? I've been reading this. This is on the top reading list of mine every day in the morning. A lot of state governments have, issued the directives that you can't charge the fees. Even if you are charging the fees, then only the tuition fees, and so on and so forth. So for an instance, there are new schools. There are larger schools who are charging some 2, 3, 4 lakh rupees in a year, in Delhi, Gurgaon, or in Mumbai, or in Bangalore. But I think, there is a notion in, a lot of, parents there, that schools are like billionaires. They have full of, stashed full of, 2,000 rupees bills and all. So a lot of things, in Delhi are a little uncertain. And I think, a lot of schools are actually thinking about shutting down the operations in
Yeah.
2, 3 months if
Yeah.
this goes,
Yeah.
the way it is. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that not paying the fees from the school parents' perspective is the right, thing to kind of talk about?
No, personally, I don't agree with this, and personally, we've ensured in the family, whatever kids are going to the school, whether my nieces, nephews, cousins, their kids, everybody is paid. And I've told them that you must pay. It's like, you want a system to provide you service. You must also, it is a give and take, whatever you can do, you must do, etc. It's not like the schools are not doing. Every school in the country is doing something or the other for the children at this point of time. And I think it becomes this is a symbiotic relationship. The parent and the school have to be symbiotic to each other. It cannot be one way or the other. And I honestly feel that people should, really step up and become a partner to the school at this point of time. Because, I always say behind the school stands the parent, and behind the child stands the school. So it's a very mutual thing, that what you're looking at. So I personally am not in favor of not being asked and everything. I believe that we're paying our Airtel bills, aren't we? We're taking a service, we are paying our bills, etc., and everybody's charging, and they should also be in that phenomena to be able to ask. But I mean, we can have our opinion. That's all we can do right now.
Glad that you think this way, and I'm sure, I mean, there are thousands of attendees both on Facebook and Zoom. If you are parents, please, if you can afford, pay the school fees in
Yes.
time.
Yes.
A lot of influencers, I mean, all the celebrities that you follow, at some point or the other, I mean, they have came on screen and they have said that whatever they are today, I mean, they kind of credit it to the school that they went to. I mean, so when they needed the school was there. And I think it's about time that the schools need, them. So I think, I mean, if we can ensure that we pay the fees on time, all these amazing people, the teachers, I mean, you need to understand that, I mean, it's not about any other profession who's making the future of India. It's only the teachers who are,
Correct.
I mean, building, the future of India. So please, if you are a parent or if you are an influencer in your city, wherever you come from, I'm sure, I mean, we have more than 50 city participants here. Please start a campaign and at least ask 4 or 5 people. I mean, how about we can start a challenge that, I mean, I have paid my school fees on time, and I nominate these 5 people, and they get, so, something like that. So I think it's about time that we help our industry and not these, not let these teachers, the real warriors, I mean, really suffer.
Yeah.
So that's a good way of kind of, bringing about some change. Divya, do you want to pick up a few questions? Because,
yes, I think there are a lot of questions on 2-3 parameter questions I'm going to pick up. The one on security and safety, etc. So Fliplearn is a completely encrypted platform. When we take data, it is encrypted, it goes into the system, then only the login IDs are generated and given back. Okay. And our idea is to keep it extremely safe. So no unknown person can enter into your school. The schools have complete control on what users are there. They are given full charge of an admin dashboard to remove the kids that leave the school or add new kids who would join your school at any point of time. And it's a very tight security, and we run it flawlessly. We haven't had a single security issue since we've been working. So I'm very happy to put you on that. The other thing, a big theme that I wanted to pick up was what are the key things to remember for Fliplearn and what are the things? It's a personalized online system. We track every engagement, every score is tracked, performance can be tracked. And I think more for that, it's best, Ravi, if people can attend some of our webinars that we do every day and they can get a comprehensive demo. We didn't want to get into a product demo today. So, that is something that you would work upon. And the assessment, Sanjit ji, is amazing in terms of very, very simple to comprehensive assessment models can be made. And Fliplearn is one of those platforms that does not limit you to MCQs. You can ask essay type questions, short answer questions, match the following, true or false. Teachers can create any format of question, can work through numericals, equations, algebraic expressions. It's not limiting, it's liberating as a platform to any educator. I think that is the way, if I may put. And another theme of questions was coming around the primary kids. What do we do for K to 5 or primary, etc. See, most of these kids would have amazing exercises, poems, lot of stories they can refer to. Teachers can give a lot of interactive exercises, and teachers have so much material that they can just upload from the system. And I think what is critical is that this system can then be used by the parents to work with their kids to do this work and come back.
Great. So a lot of questions were themed around that. I mean, there are a lot of questions popping up, as in, yeah, I mean, we have, Edelweiss, we have already answered your question where you're asking how is Fliplearn effective for pre-primary. Then it is always, the content is for all boards. All these questions have been answered. I think you were a little late or you were playing Ludo online. So yeah, I mean, okay, Manjari, I will request Divya to share her email ID. I mean, she wants to know about your
Yeah.
other training things and all. So I think it has been a very crisp kind of a conversation, and a few points. I mean, the technology is here to stay, and this is not what I am saying. This is not what Divya is saying. Whatever we are saying, don't trust. I mean, what the entire world is telling
Saying
you,
yes.
this pandemic is telling you, is that we might have to shift to technology, not for a short while, but I think, I mean, the entire schooling of a child, I mean, will now depend 50% on the technology that the schools are using, because they have now got the taste of it. I mean, a lot of schools were not ready for technology. I mean, they were, I mean, I've had a lot of statements from a lot of schools. I mean, I think we should talk about it. Hey, smart class क्या होता है क्या? हम तो blackboard काम क्या? I think these are the very people who are now rushing and seeing. See, we run a media house, Divya. You need to
Yeah.
understand, we have a relationship with thousands of school owners. So we also work as advisors, and
Sure.
on their advisory board. So a lot of school reached out to us that there is a huge repository of online learning solutions which are available out there. Ravi, we don't know about it. We don't know the company. We don't know about the credibility. We don't know how easy to use that particular platform is. Can you suggest that, I mean, which online learning platform we could use? And then, they don't have the basics of it. Even the school doesn't have a
Correct.
broadband connection. So
Correct.
I think it's
Correct.
about time that we should prepare for a future technology ready, a scenario in schools. One thing is for sure, schools are not opening very soon. And second thing is, I mean, we need to make our schools running. And I think, I mean, we all should collectively come to this
Yes.
particular
Yes.
thing that, I mean, we have to support, we have to pay
Yeah.
the fees of, time fee.
Correct.
We have to support with a lot of, I'm sure, I mean, Divya, I was having a conversation with you last week. You are also supporting a lot of rural schools, and
Yes.
you said you don't want to talk about it. So I really want to thank you for the amazing work that you are doing on ground with the rural schools, and you don't really want to talk about it because that's a CSR for your company. I know you have been spending a lot
Yeah.
for the good of this society, and pretty happy to have you as a dear friend and things about. If there's any other questions you want to pick up and
Yeah. Okay, let's see if there is a, I think for people who want to write and find out more, because I see a lot of different threads people are writing. My email ID is simple. It is divya.lal. That's my name at fliplearn.com. So it is as easy as it goes. You can see my username here, and divya.lal at fliplearn.com. Please feel free to write to me. I will personally answer all of your queries and would love to, make you join one of those sessions where you can see the content, see the system, etc. I think if you're looking at comparing us with maybe a Microsoft team or a Google platform, I think you're in for a huge surprise, and I'll be happy surprise that you will come and see what kind of work we've done. And we're already onboarding, Ravi, about more than 50,000 kids to the platform per week. Okay. So my tech team is like completely backed up right now, scaling up, so the
I
systems
know.
continue to work.
Webhub Dange is asking whether trial version of Fliplearn is available to try.
So we work out a model for the schools that we can work out for you. Anyways, as a retail app, because it's not only just about the platform, Ravi. We are a retail app. Anybody can go to Fliplearn.com and buy the subscription as a retail this thing. You can take a 7-day free trial. The system anyways allows you for a 7 days free trial for an app. But if you want to see the teacher platform, which is a larger key from a school point of view, please feel free to come to our session, and we'll be very, very happy to share with you what we are doing.
Juhi Negi is asking, is there anything creative worksheet that Fliplearn provide for secondary students?
Yes, we do for all the classes. We have about 9 types of elements that we give to you for learning. We have animations, we have MCQs, we have worksheets, we have sample papers, solved papers, we have mind maps for every concept, we have real life application, we have a topic synopsis, we have the best websites curated to go to. So there's a variety of learning resources that we provide both for teachers and students to readily use. And if they don't like that, they can always add their own stuff.
Cool.
Yes, we have worksheets. Yes, I think
Yeah.
somebody did drop in that
Manjari
message. Yeah,
Single is saying, I would be very grateful if you could have some training on Fliplearn. Of course, Divya just told you,
love to that.
Divya.lal at Fliplearn.com. So we have just answered that, and that's done. Is Fliplearn feasible for pre-primary children? She has already answered that.
I think we've answered that. We don't do the competitive market. I saw some people asking, do you do a JE or a NEET
Yeah.
preparation? No, we are not in that space. We just do nursery to 12th, all grades, all subjects. We do all of that. So that is there. And like I said, it's completely online. So it's not an offline solution. You can get practical sessions to Sharji. Just write to my email. We'll invite you to have a session with us. and you can see this. We organize it every day, Consular Ruby. It's every day. We do about 8 to 9 sessions every day. So you can just write to us. We'll send you an invite for a time that you're comfortable with. Yes, we provide Hindi material also. We do majority of the subjects. We don't do third languages essentially, but primary medium of instruction is Hindi. Primary medium of instruction is English. We don't do Hindi. Pre-primary, we have material. You can review it. So normally, I think one thing I should write here is when we give a demo to you, which we will call you and invite you, after that, we give you an ID to explore the content. Take 3 days, see everything that you want to see, okay? And then make a decision how you want to adopt it. Because we have very, very easy adoption plans for every school in the country to take it through.
Perfect. So, the time is the constraint here, and I'm sure there will be many questions which will go unanswered. So what I suggest you all, I'll give you all a moment to just copy the questions that you just pasted either on chat. I mean, आप लोग मानोगे तो नहीं Q&A में डालना था, but still go ahead and copy the questions that you have pasted on either chat or Q&A and paste it on the Facebook Live that is currently going on School News. And I will request Divya to find out some time from her very busy schedule to go on that particular post and answer your questions. Or maybe anyone from your team could do that if it's a technical question. And I will let Divya answer all these questions. And pretty much, I think the crux here is, I mean, we will all have to learn technology, and we will all have to learn. I mean, see how. What did it take for my 72 years old father to learn WhatsApp? Are you getting the gist of it? I mean, he is a 72-year-old chemist, and last year, I mean, we gifted him a smartphone, and he was like, I don't know how to use it and all. I'll only use the green button and the red button. And now he's pro, and he's sending me these good morning messages. And I think Navratras have gone, and still he's whatever is coming. So I think when a 72-year-old gentleman can learn WhatsApp, and now he's requesting me to open a Facebook account, which I am a little wary of. But I think technology is something where using these particular platform is the need of the hour. Number one, we need to use it. Number two, we need to identify which solutions we need to take, because I think eventually all these solutions have to go to the parents, because the smartphones or the internet and everything, you have to get these things approved by the parents and all. So it should be easy to understand. And I think you could also take a reference from a lot of your peers who have been using these technologies in terms of, and as to when it comes to Divya and Fliplearn, they have been there since 20 years. So I personally vouch for Divya. And I think it was only one day before lockdown when I came to Delhi. I should let you all know that how hardworking this team is. I mean, in Gurgaon, it was, all the offices were shut. These people used to drive to Delhi in a restaurant which was open. With social distancing, the entire team used to sit over there, and they were working from there. So I think it was very lucky of me to be leaving Delhi on that day. Otherwise,
you would have been with us only at my home. Then you would have been sitting next to me, Ravi, doing this webinar.
Perfect. I hope all of you have copied your questions and pasted in on Facebook Live. And there are a lot of people who are also asking questions on Facebook Live. But since the time is constrained, I will request Divya to go on School News Facebook page and answer all of these things. If you have any parting note, Divya, I mean, if you want to tell these people to stay safe, I mean, all of these are educators, they know already, but let's just do it, because our Honorable Prime Minister has been saying this every day in Man Ki Baat and all those. So I think we all are influencers, and we need to make sure that we behave so that the people who are inspired by us, I mean, also behave and just be at home. As to me, I have media accreditation, so I have to come to office for better bandwidth. And I have this mask also. So
lovely. So I think my parting note would be, first of all, a very, very big salute to all of you, because I think it takes each educator, whether we are school owners or teachers or influencers in any way, to stand up to the challenge that has come our way and say that our children will learn no matter what. And I think we're all getting out of our comfort levels to try out different things. And that is the biggest spirit to really salute. Thank you so much. And that is why I think, and I totally agree when Ravi said the teachers build the India of tomorrow. And that is what is the key. So I think all of us are doing our bit. Ravi is trying to influence people in their own way. I'm trying to do my own bit in enabling. And like I say, please stay safe, very, very safe. Wear your mask, follow all the social distancing rules, and take care of everybody at home. I think that is very, very important. Use this time, spend time, be warm, and it's okay. It's another way to live life, and there's nothing to be depressed about. We must always be positive and driving things and spreading the love, if I say, around us.
Thank you so much, Divya, for that smile. I mean, I'm a great fan of that smile. Message. Thank you for doing what you are doing for the nation in the need, the hour. I mean, that we all need to respond to. And I think, I mean, the entire world is calling the doctors, paramedics, and the police personnels the Corona warriors. We should also, of course,
Call the educators.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are thankful to all these Corona warriors, but we also should realize that the teachers, they have been the warriors right from day one. I mean, so I think, I mean, that respect for teachers is long overdue. And I think, I mean, this is something which we all should do collectively. And a lot of you are asking, when is our next webinar? I mean, we have a Telegram channel. So if you want to go on Telegram, I think, I mean, that's where we don't have limits, because our all 176 WhatsApp groups are of full capacity. So we're now making a transition to Telegram. If you want to join Telegram, download the app and search School News. That's where we will let you know when the next webinar. And by the way, on the 1st of May, I am taking Heritage Experiential Learning School and the entire team on webinar. And I am going to discuss the ingredients of being the top rated school in India. And Manit has happily agreed and given his consent. So I think, I mean, that's one webinar, I mean, you all should look forward to. Then on 5th of May, we are getting Rageshwari Lumba and Amish Tripathi and Leena Asher again on a webinar. So we'll let you know about all these things. And my colleague Vinay will also ensure that the email IDs of all Fliplearn people are given to you on the email that you registered for. So look for an email from noreply@zoom.us. So thank you very much for the patience. We still have a full pack audience here on the Facebook. But thank you very much and stay safe. And I'll see you on the other side real soon. Thank you, Divya.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.